Last night, you went to bed. You remember that part clearly. You remember the ceiling. You remember thinking about something small, something forgettable, and then nothing. No transition. No fade to black. Just morning. You did not witness yourself fall asleep. Nobody ever has. Try to remember it anyway. Push back through last night and look for the exact second where awake became asleep. There is no second there. There is only a wall. On one side, you are a person with thoughts, lying in the dark. On the other side, hours have passed, and light is coming through the window. The middle is simply gone, and it is not gone the way a forgotten phone number is gone. It was never there to begin with. This feels normal because it happens every single night. But stop and think about what that actually means. You're about to lose consciousness, the strangest thing a mind can ever do, and your brain does not let you watch it happen. You get to witness almost everything else about yourself. You watch your own hand move. You hear your own voice. But the one event that should matter most, the nightly death and rebirth of your awareness, slides by unrecorded. Why would evolution build a system that hides its own shutdown from you? The answer is not what most people expect. It has nothing to do with tiredness. It has everything to do with how your brain decides what counts as a memory in the first place. Start with what sleep actually is. Sleep is not your brain turning off. Researchers like Matthew Walker at the University of California, Berkeley, have spent decades showing that sleep is one of the most electrically active states your brain ever enters. Different regions fire in waves. Some areas grow louder, others go quiet. It is not a power outage. It is a reorganization. But there is one thing that goes dark almost immediately. The hippocampus. Your hippocampus is the structure that stamps a timestamp onto experience. It is the part of your brain that takes a moment and files it as, this happened, in this order, at this time. Without it working properly, you do not form new memories at all. This is the part of the brain that was famously damaged in a patient known as HM, studied for decades by neuroscientist Brenda Milner. After his surgery, he could not form new long-term memories. He could meet someone, talk with them for an hour, laugh with them, even feel genuine affection for them, and have no memory of the conversation minutes later. Ask him to recall it, and he would describe the moment as a total blank, as if it had simply never occurred for him at all. His case proves something simple and disturbing. Experience and memory are not the same thing. They feel identical from the inside, but they come from entirely separate systems. You can be fully conscious, fully present, fully feeling something, and still lose it forever if the hippocampus does not save it. Now apply that to falling asleep. As you drift off, your hippocampus does not crash all at once. It downshifts, slowly, unevenly. The transition from wakefulness to sleep is not a line. It is a gradient, blurry and uneven, more like a tide going out than a switch flipping off. And right in the middle of that gradient sits a strange zone scientists call the hypnagogic state. This is the in-between. You are not fully awake. You are not fully asleep. Your thoughts get strange here, untethered. They stop obeying logic. Sometimes you see flashes of imagery that make no sense. A face you do not recognize. A place you have never been. Gone again before you can examine it. Sometimes you hear a voice say your name, clearly enough that you almost answer. Researchers studying this state, including work published by sleep scientist Alan Hobson, found that brain activity here looks like a fragmented hybrid of waking thought and dream logic. Two systems colliding before either one fully wins. Here's the critical part. During this exact window, your hippocampus is winding down its memory recording function. It is the encoding machine, and the encoding machine is mid-shutdown, right when the experience is at its strangest and most worth remembering. So even though your brain is technically still processing the world around you in those last minutes, it is not filing any of it away properly. The recorder is running out of tape at the exact moment you most need it to keep recording. This is why you can recall getting into bed. Your hippocampus was still fully online for that. But the moment consciousness actually folds, the recorder has already gone dark. There is no final frame, because nothing after a certain point was ever saved. Think about what this means. Your brain experiences the loss of consciousness every single night, but you do not experience experiencing it. You only experience the after. It gets stranger. Sleep researchers have found that this same blackout effect happens with general anesthesia. Patients describe counting backward from 10, and then suddenly being told the surgery is over. No felt transition, no sensation of going under, just a gap. Studies on anesthetized patients, including research led by anesthesiologist George Masur at the University of Michigan showed that consciousness does not fade out gradually the way you would expect. It often appears to switch off and switch back on, with the in-between simply never recorded. The brain is not necessarily unconscious that whole time. It may simply not be saving anything to memory during it. This reframes something important. The boundary you think you feel at the edge of consciousness, that soft fade into darkness, may not be a real experience at all. It may be a memory artifact, a story your brain tells you afterward because there has to be some explanation for the jump from awake to morning. Your brain is, in a very real sense, a narrator working with missing pages, and narrators do not like gaps, so they smooth them over. This is the same mechanism behind a much more common experience. Have you ever driven a familiar route and arrived with no memory of the drive itself? Your eyes were open, your hands were on the wheel, you stopped at red lights, but somewhere along the way, your hippocampus stopped logging the experience because nothing demanded conscious attention. The driving still happened. The memory of it simply never got built. Falling asleep works the same way, just amplified. Your brain does not need you to consciously witness its own shutdown. There is no evolutionary advantage to remembering the exact instant unconsciousness begins. What would you do with that memory? It serves no survival function. So the system that builds memories simply does not bother engaging during that window. This is where it gets philosophically uncomfortable. If memory is what makes an experience feel real to you afterward, and if the final moments before sleep are never memorized, then in a strange sense, the version of you that exists right now has never actually experienced losing consciousness. Every single night, a version of you disappears without a final memory marking the disappearance, and a new version wakes up, stitching the night together into a clean story that was never actually witnessed. Some researchers studying consciousness, including theoretical work from neuroscientist Christoph Koch, have pointed out that this raises real questions about what continuity of self even means. You assume you are the same continuous person who got into bed last night, but the only evidence for that is a memory built by a brain that was offline for the part that would have proven it. It is not unsettling because anything dangerous is happening. It happens every night, harmlessly, to every person on Earth. It is unsettling because it reveals something about consciousness itself. You think of your mind as a camera that is always rolling, capturing everything in order, ready to be played back whenever you ask. It is not. It is a camera that only films what it judges to be worth filming, and it makes that judgment in real time, silently, often without telling you, and sometimes it stops filming at the exact moment you would most want the footage. So tonight, when you get into bed, watch the ceiling for a while. Notice the thoughts drifting, loosening, drifting again. Notice how ordinary it feels, even though nothing about it is ordinary at all. Somewhere in the next few minutes, your hippocampus will quietly clock out. You will not feel it happen. You never have. There is only the room, then the absence of the room, then morning. And when you open your eyes tomorrow, you will once again be the only witness to a transition you were never actually present for, piecing together a night you never really saw, the same way you do every single day of your life.